So this is just a recap of the trades that I took today, Monday, February 26th, 2024. I called out these trades in the Discord group for everybody to take. So let's go through it. I'm on Top Step. I'm on an express funded account. I've built this account up to a little over $5,000. Can't quite see it in this screenshot, but I did take a trade prior to the open. It was a small trade and I won about $80. So after commissions and fees, it's like 78. This is, 6:37 a.m. This is Pacific time. My account balance at that time is 5,448.84. You can see the last two digits of the account here. So you know that as time passes, I'm not switching accounts or anything like that. What I'm looking for here is this trend line. Okay, we're in a resistance zone, which is this gray area that price is in. It's kind of gone into it. Here I'm setting my sell stop. I want to enter this trade when price breaks below this trend line. I like that price action has been getting, there's a lot of wicks to the upside here on this 1 minute chart. To me, that shows that price is having trouble sustaining above this area here. So I want to get in short. It broke down a little bit here, and I'm thinking that this is going to be a lower high. Okay, so I've got my sell stop here. I'm adjusting my stop loss. Okay, adjusting my take profit. Okay, so my entry at this point, and the trade hasn't entered yet. I just have a sell stop ready to get me in short if price breaks below this level. My profit target is just below the pre-market, like recent low swing low down here. And my stop loss is just above the recent swing high. What I'm betting on is going to be the swing high. Hey, I just take a little screenshot here for the Discord group so they can see what's going on. Hey, price is starting to move up. Take out my short position drawing tool in TradingView, which is a super helpful tool. I use it all the time. I like to know, what my risk reward is. It helps me know how much I should be risking on each trade. And here you see me actually increase the number of contracts. So I'm only risking 225 with two contracts for a potential profit of 450. So that's a solid 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Okay, so price starts to break down. I adjusted my entry there and I alerted everybody. So now we're in the trade. It starts to move in my favor very, very quickly, which is great. Double checking my risk to reward, how many contracts I should be in. And then here it starts to bounce a little bit, pull back. Ideally, I would want to see price action move immediately in my favor, but that happens occasionally. Doesn't happen every time. Sometimes you have to wait. This one, we're just being patient. Price is moving, still in my favor. I didn't like that last 1 minute candle close because that wick, but again, doesn't mean I should get out. I don't usually like to get out early. I usually will, if price moves against me, I'll usually let price hit my stop. Okay, here things start to look even better. You get another candle moving below the low of the last candle. Big push in my favor. Okay, almost got to the profit target in 2 candles. And now we're getting a little bit of a pullback. So I remember at this point, what I was thinking is, should I take profit? There's a really strong push right there. Should I take half of my position off? And I think I do take half of my position off. So like I right here, I'm considering closing out. And I don't like to, one thing I don't like to have is I don't like to always show the dollar amount of my profit and loss. Psychologically, it makes you think about your profit and loss as you're in the trade, which is not what you want to be thinking about. You want to be thinking about the quality of the trade. Was it a good entry? Is my stop loss in the right place? Is my profit target in the right place? But trading based off of how much I'm making, it's really hard to hold on to your winners when you do that. So I have it on here for the purposes of sharing with other people, for sharing on YouTube or other social media so people can see that I'm actually making money on these trades. If I weren't recording my trades, I would have that off because I prefer not to really know exactly how much I'm up or how much I'm down while I'm in a certain trade. For me, mentally, it's better for me to not see any of that. Okay. So I'm considering closing the position out right there. I look at it. I remember thinking, okay, don't do that. You know, it could just be a bear flag that's forming, which would be great. Okay, this candle is going to close and I'm going to take off half of my position. I'm looking at this. I have better than 1-to-1 risk to reward here. I end up taking off half of my position here. Okay, you'll see me adjust my stop. Okay, you'll see me adjust my profit target. I actually move it down. Okay, now if I get stopped out on this, the second half of this position, I closed out one contract for better than 1-to-1 risk to reward. If I get stopped out on the other contract, then I haven't actually lost anything. So I've actually probably made a little bit of money. If I closed out of profit for one contract at 2.5 points or 2.25 points is what it was. I made 2.25 points on one contract. If I get stopped out on the second contract for a loss of 2.25 points, then 2.25 profit minus 2.25 loss is a wash. I end up losing a little bit of money, and that's just for the fees and commissions that I paid for the contracts that I took. But as far as the actual price action, the actual position, it's a wash. It's a break-even trade. So I do like to do that sometimes if I take more than one contract, where I'll take off one contract at a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, and I'll leave the other contract. So here, that's exactly what I did. I actually got a little bit better than a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio on that first contract. And I saw potential for this trade to move down further, which is why I moved my buy limit, my profit target, to give it a little bit more room to breathe. Okay, so also if you're in the group at this point, you'll see that profit target hit. I alerted the trade at 6:42. I adjusted it at 6:43. At 6:43, I let everybody know I'm in. 4 minutes later, profit target hit. So that was a very fast trade, very fast winner for everybody. I played it a little bit differently than I called it out. But still, that's a great 2-to-1 risk to reward on that trade. Okay, I tightened the stop a little bit. Okay, this thing is still moving in my favor. And I think pretty soon here, I'm going to end up just taking profit because it's just, you know, take advantage of a strong move. Okay. I was a little bit flustered here. I thought my buy stop was my order. So I think I clicked the X on the buy stop, thinking I was closing out my order. Yep. And then I ended up closing out the order. A very simple setup. I identified a resistance area on the 1-hour time frame before the market opened. And I let everybody know in the Discord that I would be looking for short setups in that area if they were very convincing. And this one for me was very convincing. Let's actually just go to the chart on that one. So what I saw there that I liked about this trade so much was one, we had this trend line right here. If it broke, I felt like it could give a lot of it could have a lot of room to the downside, be a pretty sharp fall because of how weak the price action up here was getting. I also really liked that this was kind of a double top. Here's the first top, here's the second top, and we're in this big resistance zone. Okay, I mentioned this in my pre-market analysis, my daily game plan is what we call it in the Discord group, that I would like to get short in this area if I saw something convincing. This double top was convincing. This trend line break with the weakening price action here in the resistance zone was very convincing for me, which is why we took this trade. So that was the first trade I called out of the day. was a great trade for everybody that took it. A bunch of the members did take it and made some money, so we were definitely really happy about that. After the winning trade, I called out 2 more trades, and unfortunately they were not winning trades. So one winning trade, then the second trade was a losing trade, the third trade was a losing trade, and then the last trade we'll get to. I liked it a lot. But let's go through these 2 losing trades that I called out also in the Discord. So just being very transparent, not every trade is going to be a winner. My trading style, if you follow my trading style in our group, I'm somewhere between 50 and 60% win rate. But the way that I stay profitable is I allow my winning trades to go for big profits. So I like to stick to like a 1.5 to 2 risk to reward ratio as a minimum to enter a trade. But a lot of times, I'll see potential for a trade to continue to work out in my favor if it's working out in my favor already. And I'll remove my target and I'll just allow my trade to continue to move. I'll trail my stop incrementally. I'll watch price action, and if I'm in a long trade, a trade where I've bought to go long and bet on the market to continue to go up, I'll trail my stop under price action. So I'll look for higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and I'll trail my stop underneath those higher lows. And sometimes that can play out for 20, 30 points. Sometimes I'll make a little bit less than I initially intended, but the important part is that I am getting those trades where I'm getting a 3, 4, 5 times my risk, which helps to negate the 50 to 60% win rate, or I guess you would say the 40 to 50% loss rate of my trading strategy. I don't need to win all the time. I just need to win a little bit more than most of the time in order to have a long-term profitable trading strategy. So on this trade, what I saw here was a trend line had broken down. We'd entered into a support area. The support area, again, I marked it out on the 1-hour time frame, and I did call it out in the daily game plan in the Discord group. So what I'm looking at here is a trend line break. I'm looking for a 1-minute bull flag to give me a long entry, because I think if this trend line breaks, the downside momentum has been broken. We're in a support zone, so that means we should have difficulty moving down through the support zone, momentum breaking, bull flag, which is a bullish continuation pattern, and everything should work out perfectly, right? Let's see what happens. So let's see. I have a buy stop to enter at 50.95. Okay, I'm screenshotting this so I can share it with the members of my Discord group so they can follow the trade. Trade's getting close. Trade opens. So I'm long 2 contracts at 50.95. I've got a stop loss at 50.93. And my target is at 50.99. So I'm risking 2 points. You'll see me use the long position tool here, risking 2 points to make 4.5. So I should be making $450, risking $200, which is really good. Right off the bat, this trade looks like it's going to work out great. I got a really strong candle on that breakout from that bull flag. It wasn't the best looking bull flag. Then we get another candle right here that looks like it's just going to push right into our target, and our target right here is VWAP. Okay, so I thought about closing this one out, especially after we got this kind of bearish reversal candle on the 1-minute chart. I thought about closing it out, but again, I don't like to close out my trades before the profit target hits. It kind of is situational. On a day like today where we've been in a bullish uptrend on the daily time frame since the end of last October 2023. But today we're kind of sideways on my intermediate time frame, which is the 1-hour chart. So since we're bullish on the highest time frame, but sideways on the intermediate, I don't have a lot of conviction of holding trades for big targets. I'm kind of looking for small short, quick hits, quick base hits. On this one, I mean, 4.5 points is not a ton of points. So I didn't want to close out early from this trade. Okay, fast forward a bit, price action is pretty slow and it's just not moving in my favor. Just continues to move down, and I get stopped out. So that was my second trade of the day. It was a loser. I lost 2 points, and if you remember, the first trade won a little bit over 4 points. So a little bit, we'll still have more than half of the profits that we made from the first trade. Okay, the second trade, which I also called out in the Discord, I called out that I would be getting long at 50.98 right here. Stop loss at 50.94.75 and a profit target at 51.05.75. This is about 2.4, 2.3 risk to reward. What I like here is we have an ascending triangle pattern. We had a double bottom down here, which I also like that. And we're in the support zone, which I drew out on the 1 hour time frame. So I'm expecting for price to break through my target. Also looking to break through VWAP, which this is the electronic trading hours VWAP. It's the one that runs 23 hours a day. And then this one is an anchored VWAP that I have anchored to the opening candle of the cash session, which is 6:30 a.m. Pacific time for me. So we have VWAP and VWAP here. So I'm expecting price to break through this little resistance area, through both VWAPs, through these swings, and then to hit the resistance zone. So in retrospect, probably kind of an aggressive mentality to take. But again, the overall trend on the daily time frame is incredibly bullish. And we're kind of moving sideways on my intermediate time frame, which is the 1 hour. So for us to move, 50.98 to 51.05, it's only 7 to 8 points. It's not impossible, and it could happen really quickly. On a day like today, it probably won't happen quickly, and I know for a fact I'm about to lose this trade, but let's look at it and see how it plays out. So let's see. Just screenshotting my entry so that the members of the Discord can follow along. All right, and then right here, the trade triggers. I let everybody know I'm in. Price action today is just super slow. I probably should have just called it a day after that first trade. When I see a good setup, when I see a solid setup, I like to take it, but it was a super slow day. So could have laid off. Get a little price spike here. Price starts to move up into VWAP, and price just has a lot of trouble breaking through VWAP, and eventually it just rejects. And unfortunately for us, strong move to the downside to stop us out of that trade. So we won the first trade. We lost the second trade. We lost the third trade. And the first trade, we won 18 ticks. Second trade, we lost 8 ticks. And the third trade, we lost 13 ticks. We won 18, lost 8, and then lost 13. So 18 minus 21, we're actually negative 3 ticks on the day. There's one more trade, so let's check that one out. Okay, so this fourth and final trade that I called out for the members of the Discord group. Again, I got stopped out here on this really quick flush after it rejected VWAP a couple of times. I'm still not convinced that this is a downtrending day. We have a lot of basing down here. We made a couple of equal lows. There's a nice little double bottom. We made new highs after the double bottom. We broke this swing high right here. We broke this swing high right here. So we're breaking previous swing highs, which is good. I don't like that we broke down below this swing low, but I'm pretty confident that I can at least get a trade that's going to push up a little bit and maybe be a little bit more conservative targeting the VWAP area right here. So on this trade, I go a little bit heavier. My plan here is to take 4 contracts. I'm risking $550. And I plan to take off half of my position at a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So again, just like I did in something similar that I did in the first trade was I took off half of the position at a little bit better than a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And that will allow me to hold this trade for longer. If I take off half and then the remaining half of my position comes back and gets stopped out, then it's just a break-even trade. So that's my plan here, is take off half at a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Okay, so right here, at about 9:07 a.m., the trade triggers. Okay, we've got a little bit of movement to the upside. Again, this is a very, very slow day. Just very, very choppy. I get close to getting stopped out. At this point, we're starting to see a little bit of life. Price came down pretty much right after we entered. Came down, almost got stopped out, got a couple of points within getting stopped out, and now we're attacking this little swing high, this lower high that was made right here. And I'm really not liking this a lot because now it's starting to look like a head and shoulders pattern. We've got like a shoulder area here, got a head area here, and then what could be a right shoulder. But I don't close out because of new information. Again, 1 hour is kind of moving sideways. The daily time frame is in a very, very clear uptrend. So I feel like I've got some room. I don't have to be too conservative of closing out too early on my trades. Okay, so we're starting to push up a little bit here towards my profit target, my first target. Okay, this thing right here is starting to look a little bit like a bull flag. Okay, now something that I did here is I got a little bit nervous. So what I started to do was I started to pull up to measure this, to measure moving my stop loss right below this swing low so that I can get to risk neutral a little bit sooner because I started to get nervous that I was going to get stopped out again. What I ended up doing, and you'll see it right here, is I start to do it and then I say, you know what, that's not the plan. I need to stick to my plan. Starting to get some movement towards my target, first target. Okay. Taps the price, but it doesn't trigger. And then finally, my 2 contracts come off. So half of my position is off at a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And 1-to-1 is actually a little bit tighter than I have my actual stop loss. I come over here, I adjust my number of contracts on my stop to match the number of open contracts I have, move my stop up, and now I am measuring to see what I can possibly get up here. Okay, here's my updated P&L. I think I started the day at about 5,800, something like that. You can clearly see it's up. You can see the timestamp up here. The last 2 digits of the same account. Okay, so now in this area, I start to kind of recognize that VWAP has been, was a tough resistance earlier. It's a tough resistance earlier in the day, tough resistance, not too long ago in the day, like 20, 30 minutes ago. So, I'm still holding 2 out of 4 contracts. So I decided that I'm going to trim. So I take 1 contract off right there. And the whole time I'm doing this, I'm also narrating this in the Discord live. I let everybody know I took off my 2 contracts. I let everybody know that I cut down to 1 contract when I did. And then I also told them that I moved my stop to 90, 50, 94, 75. And then shortly after that, I moved my stop to break even, which was stop moved to 50, 95, 75. And here I'm just hoping that we can break through VWAP. If not, I've secured profit of about 3 to 4 points on 3 contracts out of 4 contracts. And if I get stopped out on this last contract, it's literally for $0 won, $0 lost on that contract. So 3 contracts, that's $150 a point. 3 points is $450. 4 points is going to be $600. And I do get stopped out on this last contract. And that was it. So 4 trades taken on the day. First one was a winner for 18 ticks. Second one was a loser for 8 ticks. Third one was a loser for 13 ticks. So after 3 trades, I'm net negative 3 ticks on the day. So per contract, $12.50 per tick is what an E-mini contract goes for. So that's $37.50 that I'm down on the day from those 3 trades. My last trade goes for about 4, let's call it 3.5 points. Didn't get to the final target, but it did get to 3.5 points, which is 14 ticks. So negative 3 ticks plus 14 ticks. I'm actually positive 11 ticks on the day, and I only won 50% of my trades. Okay, so 11 ticks times $12.50 a tick, that's $137.50 per contract. Fortunately, I had the courage to go a little bit heavy on that last trade. It would have been my last trade of the day had I lost, and I would have ended up red on the day by about 550. But at the end of the day, I ended up about $500, $600 up on the day. And most of that is just from solid risk management. My targets were better than a 1-to-1 risk to reward. Most of them were better than a 1.5 risk to reward. And I got better than a 2 risk to reward ratio on the very first trade, which was the best part of the day because that set me up to take a couple more trades throughout the day. The name of the game is managing your risk and playing the probabilities. I saw, after my first winning trade, I saw 2 more setups that I did like, that I have won on before. And just because I lost this time doesn't mean that they were bad trades. It just means that they didn't work out this time. Maybe they'll work out next time, maybe they won't, but I'll continue to take them because I know from a lot of journaling my trades that these setups are the ones that will win about 55 to 60% of the time. And I can usually take them for anywhere from 1.5 risk to reward to 4, sometimes even 5 risk to reward ratio. So I appreciate everybody who watched the video today. If you like what you saw, please like and please subscribe. And if you have any questions or interested in joining our Discord group, check the comments section below or check the description below for a link to join.